JBN, we keep you informed. 13 guns seized in 14 days in St. James, with 13 illegal firearms and more than 200 rounds of assorted ammunition seized in the past week. It appears that the St. James police have made a breakthrough in their quest to blunt the rampant lawlessness that has been plaguing the parish. We have been putting in some good work and we're getting good results in terms of the seizure of illegal firearms and the arrest of some of the criminals who have been involved in criminal activities across the parish, said Superintendent Vernon Ellis, the commanding officer for the parish. Because of the pressure we have been putting on them, some of the gangsters have fled the parish. Some of the weapons seized in police operations in volatile communities such as Norwood, Barrett Town, Granville, Barracks Road and Glendevon ranged from old to fairly new, including 4 rifles and handguns of varying styles and brands. Within recent years, St. James has become a hotbed of rampant criminality, driven by the illicit lottery scam, which has become entwined with the parish's long-standing gang culture. Since 2006, when the lottery scam became pervasive in St. James, the parish has seen in excess of 100 murders every year, including the record 335 in 2017. Over the years, several policing measures have been put in place to contain the violence in St. James, including the Zone of Special Operations in Mount Salem and 2 separate states of public emergency. However, the criminals empowered by the wealth gained from scamming have remained a threat to law and order. However, buoyed by the success being enjoyed at this time, which sees the current murder tally at 47, Ellis is cautiously optimistic that the 100-plus murder cycle will be broken this year. Farmer charged with murder following bar shooting. 32-year-old Jeffrey Ramdas, a farmer of Paul Island, Grangeville in Westmoreland, was charged on Thursday, June 11 with murder, wounding with intent, and illegal possession of firearm. Dead is 30-year-old Cordell Casley of Paul Island, Grangeville, also in the parish. Police reports indicate that about 4 p.m. on Sunday, March 8, there was an altercation involving Ramdas and 2 men at a bar in Little London in the parish. It is alleged that Ramdas opened gunfire hitting Casley and another man before escaping. The police were summoned and both men were taken to hospital where Casley was pronounced dead. The other man was treated and released. Ramdas was arrested during a police operation. He is expected to appear before the courts soon. 2 PMP councillors booted from the St. James Municipal Corporation. Tempers flared during Thursday's monthly meeting of the St. James Municipal Corporation after the Jamaica-led party majority voted to boot 2 People's National Party PMP councillors who have missed the last 3 consecutive meetings without giving prior notice. Senator Charles Sinclair, councillor from Montego Bay North East, moved the motion against Sylvan Reed, councillor for the Salt Spring Division, and Gladstone Bent, representative for Catadupa, citing their absences at the March, April, and May sittings. The motion was supported by Sinclair's fellow JLP councillors but was opposed by the PMP minority. Montego Bay Mayor Homer Davis, who chairs the St. James Municipal Corporation, cited the corporation's regulations in outlining why Reed and Bent were being removed if the ruling stands. If a council is absent from 3 consecutive ordinary meetings of the council without leave from the council, the minutes of the council shall be conclusive evidence as to the attendance of the councillors, said Davis. What is before us is conclusive that for 3 consecutive meetings, councillors Bent and Reed were absent, said Davis. The action was taken pursuant to Section 31B of the Local Governance Act, which states, if a person elected to the office of mayor or council is absent from 3 consecutive ordinary meetings of the council without the leave of council, that person shall thereupon become disqualified immediately and shall cease to hold the office. However, in rejecting the action taken against his colleagues, PMP Minority Leader Michael Troop said that both Reed and Bent had underlying medical conditions and were staying at home in accordance with COVID-19 regulations. The instructions of the Ministry of Health and Wellness and the government said they must stand at them yard. You must take this into consideration. Those who have underlying health problems, and you must take into consideration the problems being faced by Councillors Reid and Bent and others, said Troop. Both Reid and Bent were present at Thursday's sitting. Reid looked on in silence as the motion was being moved, but Bent stood up, defiantly declaring that he would be continuing in his post. I am an elected councillor of this council, and there were many meetings after the allegation being raised by this councillor, which I couldn't really come to, but I found myself at different meetings here, which says that my interest is here for the people of Salt Spring Division who elected me to be here, said Reid. Whatever happens here today, Councillor Reid will still be the councillor for the Salt Spring Division. Have a good day. Tell your wife that, Reid told Sinclair before storming out, accompanied by Troop. Former Montego Bay Mayor Shalman Scott said that the councillors may seek redress through the Association of Local Governmental Authorities or in the courts. There are 13 JLP and 4 PMP councillors in the St. James Municipal Corporation. McNeil says border reopening effort confusing and disjointed. Opposition spokesman on tourism, Dr. Wickham McNeil, is describing the government's effort at reopening the nation's borders as confusing, disjointed, and lacking in continuity. Dr. McNeil said that while the new decision to test all arriving passengers is welcomed, the sudden change of heart by the government has left many stakeholders in the industry confused and bewildered, as assurances had been previously given to potential visitors that no testing would be required. The Shadow Minister noted that the announcement is also a sudden change from the Prime Minister's previously announced position that testing of all passengers was impossible and would present a logistical nightmare. Dr. McNeil added that this position was reiterated by Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett, who stated that it would cost approximately US $75 million to test all tourists coming into the island, which was deemed an impossible expenditure. The various positions announced over the last 14 days are confusing, disjointed, and generally lacking in intellectual rigor and consultation, and prove positive that the government has no plan, Dr. McNeil said. He said unless the procedures are clear and resources increased at the airports, the experience, especially for visitors, will be disheartening and counterproductive for the industry. Dr. McNeil said this about turn by the government comes only 4 days before the planned reopening of Jamaica's borders to visitors, and has left stakeholders concerned as it does not allow tourism partners adequate time to plan with any degree of certainty. To be clear, I've always been in support of testing and have cautioned the government that allowing free entry without testing was reckless. It would endanger the health of our tourism workers and the wider population by extension. I've always advocated for pre-testing, as do many in the sector, the Shadow Minister said. Dr. McNeil said several questions remain unanswered regarding the new protocol, such as where will testing take place? How long will test results take? What happens if there's a positive test? Who will assume the cost of isolation should a visitor test positive? Farm work program, a win-win for Jamaica and US, says Tapia. 61-year-old Ronald Campbell from Guys Hill in St. Catherine is among the veterans of the farm work program, having made the trip to the United States every season for the past 39 years. He said that he can vividly remember his first trip at age 21. It has been worthwhile and I have no regrets. I've been able to achieve more than many people in better off positions because I put whatever money to proper use, said Campbell, adding that he has been able to school his children with his farm work earnings. Through this program, I now have 2 houses and a car, and I know people, many may say, so what? But for a poor man, it is a big thing, and I'm very grateful for this program. Speaking at a send-off ceremony on Thursday ahead of Friday's departure of 116 Jamaicans who are headed for Gebber's Farm in Brewster, Washington State, United States Ambassador Ronald Tapia spoke glowingly of the relationship between Jamaica and his country. He hailed the 70-year-old seasonal farm work program between his country and Jamaica as truly a win-win situation. It is a perfect example of how the needs and skills of 2 countries can combine to produce a powerful partnership with results, he said at the dispatch ceremony at the Ministry of Labour and Social Security's East Street offices in downtown Kingston. According to the ambassador, returning Jamaican farm workers bring back an estimated US $100 million in earnings, which help to support small businesses and families across the country. Taking note of the positive synergies that have been created from the partnership between the US and Jamaica, Junior Labour Minister Xavier Main also sang the praises of the Temporary Agricultural Workers Program. Many of our workers have been able to improve their standard of living and educate their children and move their families out of poverty, he said. From a national perspective, it has helped to reduce unemployment, particularly in the rural areas, reduce poverty, increase remittances, and expose farmers to modern agricultural production methods. He urged the workers to give of their best while representing Jamaica, a call accepted by Tyrone Carter, who spoke on behalf of his fellow participants. We just want to thank you for this opportunity, and we are going to continue doing the hard work. This program has allowed us to take care of our families and to send our children to school and also to give us a better life, he said. We will not let anyone come and mash up the program because we know what we have achieved with this program. Most of the houses in the country, in the hillsides and in the valleys, if you ask whose houses are that, someone will tell you that's a farm worker's house. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.